anytime we do interviews, it's hard for us to correlate when we're both off work together for interviews, because especially with us being on the West Coast, everyone's 3 hours ahead of us usually.
Yeah.
So what's going on with you guys? How's the franchise pod coming along?
It's we do it every week, and we've got our fans.
Well, I'm one of them. I'm one of the fans.
No, it's going well. Yeah, we're pretty steady. We don't haven't taken a vacation yet. So.
No, you guys, you're pumping out a lot of content. I haven't heard the last 2 episodes because I was at sailing and I don't get any Wi-Fi, so I can't download any episodes while I'm at sea. So I got some catching up to do. But,
you're dead to me.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually honored that I was ever alive to you, so I'll take it. Yeah, I've enjoyed your Halloween coverage. I'm a little surprised by the lack of love for it, but I guess it does. I guess it does really peter off after the first 2, so it's kind of hard to argue.
I've loved it my whole life, but watching them all in a row is like molasses, man.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. So I will introduce you guys to our listeners. This is the Worst of the Best podcast. Go ahead.
Start.
Well, sort of. We're recording, but I'll be editing whatever, you know.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Hank, is there any way you could be louder, Henry?
I was actually going to say the same thing to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it must just be like a guest thing. It's all right.
Because I can. Yeah, I mean, I could turn my mic up, but if you sounded a little like Ryan sounds just right. You sound a little. Am I a little better now or no?
Yeah, it sounds good.
What about me? Do I sound normal?
You sound kind of Jewy. I don't know. Is that normal?
To me, yes.
Okay.
It's his normal tone.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm pumping up my volume a little bit. How's that, Dan? Is that a little better?
Yeah, it's louder.
Better, yeah.
All right, I threw it up to 86.
Love it.
Wow. Wow.
Welcome to the Worst of the Best podcast. You wanted the best. Well, they didn't freaking make it! So here's what you get. From Canada, Ryan and Ruben.
Let me welcome you guys to the Worst of the Best podcast. I don't know if you've heard any of our episodes or not. You don't have to have heard them, but
Wait, we're not recording, right?
Yes, we are.
Ryan, what is with you? There's no countdown or nothing, huh?
No, I don't do that. I just go right into it. I got to catch all the gold wherever it might land.
Oh boy. All right. Okay.
Well, am I putting you on the spot, Henry? You haven't heard any of my episodes? It's okay if you haven't.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I don't listen to podcasts.
No.
No, it's okay though. I have the link that you sent me for all of the franchises and everything. So
I listened to one right at the beginning. I'll say that I have heard an episode.
Okay, so good.
We Pearl Jam one.
Okay, that was episode 1. So yeah, we didn't reel you in. I appreciate that anyway. So that's okay. You know, not a lot of podcasters listen necessarily to podcasts, and I'm not offended. It's okay. I listen to all of your guys' show, and I'll tell the listeners of our show that you guys run called the Franchise Podcast. I love it. Basically, you know, like I've said to you guys before, I'm mad that I never thought of it. You just cover franchises, which there is a lot of. Like, I don't think you're ever going to run out.
And endless possibilities. Mine and Henry's original idea for the franchise was we were going to go back and watch every Miramax film in chronological order. I'm very glad we didn't do that.
Well, now you have to. Because now you have to cover how every movie has some sort of Harvey... you have to cover how every movie has some sort of Harvey Weinstein skin to it.
It has some kind of Harvey Weinstein.
That idea was just so good, and it's just a relief, isn't it, Dan?
Can you imagine? We've already covered accidentally like 3 Miramax movies since
Only
it
3?
happened. Only since the scandal.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So, are you guys happy about Brett Ratner and his demise?
Well, you know he's my nemesis, of course. Yeah. I'm very happy. We've
Good.
covered. We got an interview with him before the scandal broke. On,
Okay, good.
On our Rush Hour 2 and 3
Yep.
episode, or our Rush Hour 1. Henry, do you remember?
I think it was one.
Yeah, you know, he was kind of a dick to us, and I'd had experiences with him in the past. I'm very psyched about that one. I am not psyched about anything that's happening in Hollywood right now, except for that.
Yeah. Okay, so...
is this a clean show?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll edit if you guys curse, but I want you guys not... I don't want you to think too hard about... I want you to speak freely, but yes, it's a PG show as far as language goes. I appreciate the question, Henry.
Good to know. Good to know. I like to know, and I'll try to respect that for sure.
No worries. I'm not offended, and none of my listeners are offended, but the whole podcast itself is PG,
Absolutely.
so to speak.
Yeah, you don't have the little E that we have next to it, so...
maybe I'd get more listeners, I guess, but who knows. Yeah.
Not necessarily.
You both have the link in front of you of the... Oh, yeah, so basically you guys cover franchises, and I wanted you guys to come on our show because... And I was thinking, what could these guys talk about? Well, I know you guys can talk about a lot of stuff, but I was like, oh, yeah, franchises. So I thought the gist of our show, as you may or may not know, is we don't choose what's the best. The public does, whether it's through ticket sales. Basically, it's capitalism, right? Basically, the audience... The public speaks with what they buy. Then we decide, hey, out of what the public has decided is the best, Ruben and I then decide what is the worst of where the public has decided is the best. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to cover the all-time top grossing franchises in box office history. There will be a couple exceptions when we go through the list. We'll start at the bottom of that link if you
where
guys
are we
are there.
starting? Are we doing the top 10? Or...
Yeah, I had that question too.
Yeah, there is a lot, and we don't have to, we can literally talk 20 seconds on a franchise. We're not, so how it's going to work...
Are we doing 100?
No.
Okay.
All right, yeah, what page am I going to here?
We're doing the narrative.
It's on my phone, so I'm scrolling. I'm going, how long am I
okay. I'm on the PC.
Starting?
Well, we'll start with, it's going to be right at the bottom where my screen, it goes, a scary movie.
Scary movie. Okay, yeah. I got it. That's page 1, Hank.
Okay, good. There you go. And then we're going to work up. And so we'll talk about the movie. It's basically just your general feeling. Don't try to give away. Let it be natural, but don't try to give away your, what your worst pick will be. And you can have a couple because these are kind of a few franchises here.
Scary Movie's a really interesting one to start with because it starts out as a satire of a satire.
Right.
Scream itself was commenting on horror films, and Scary Movie is a parody of Scream. The second one's really weird because it's parodizing The Haunting, which is a movie that didn't even do that well. And then 3, 4, and 5, they canned the Wayans brothers and got the Zucker brothers to do a weird trilogy of movies with, Charlie Sheen. And so, I mean... That's pretty much a garbage franchise. I remember laughing a couple of times at maybe the first one and maybe Chris Elliott in the second one, but... Henry, what about you? Have you seen any of those?
That's a great question. You helped me out there. I think I've seen the first one. That's about it. I don't remember anything about it. I don't remember particularly liking it or having it be memorable in any way. I do remember that. And I did remember thinking how odd it was, as Dan said at the right of his first comment, about how it's a satire of a satire, and it's just kind of almost in trying to, as I recall, Naked Gun territory, but it's not, doesn't work.
Yeah, I've seen the first 3, I think. I'm not sure about parts 4 and 5. I look forward to your guys' coverage on your podcast of this series.
Oh, we should definitely cover it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And speaking of scary movies, the next... so this franchise grossed $460 million worldwide. All right, the next one is speaking of scary movies, is the Ghostbusters franchise, which, surprisingly enough, only grossed $470 million worldwide, but this does not account for inflation.
And there's only 3 of them.
Right.
And the third one kind of tanked. Original Ghostbusters is an obvious classic, a contender for best comedy ever made, I think.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
We've only not covered Ghostbusters on the franchise because I don't know what to say about Ghostbusters that hasn't already been said.
I want to hear your ball busting on Ghostbusters, the third one. That's why I want to hear that.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Okay.
Well, I haven't seen it, and I mean, there were 2 reasons for that. One is that I didn't want to. And,
well, sure, yeah.
And 2 is that I was waiting for us to cover it on the show. And Dan's right about, of course, what can be said, but we always find stuff to find. So I do want to do Ghostbusters at one point because
Me too.
That's a good one too because we're going to be able to devote one whole episode to the first movie, which will be great. And
I suspect Ghostbusters 2 may be a bit of a nostalgia buster, which would be interesting. I mean, the third one, I have a lot of nice things to say about the first maybe hour of that movie. And then it falls apart really, really badly.
As always, Daniel, you surprise me with your... some of the things you like, I'm always amazed. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm not going to give a positive review. You know, we do a rating out of 5 on our podcast. I think I would only give the third Ghostbusters like a 2, but there was enough there to keep me interested for at least the first act.
Okay.
You sound disappointed.
No, that's fair. I think two is probably fair. The next trilogy is the Austin Powers trilogy, which was huge when it came out, of course. And the third one was actually the top grossing one. Grossed $473 million, that trilogy.
Yeah, we covered it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, we did the whole thing.
Man, those are bad movies.
They really are. They really are. That was tough. That was a real slog. You know, the first one, not so bad, and then not to really talk too much about our own show, but it was fun in that we got to have Christian Toto on for the first time, and that was fun to talk about the movie, but then we were stuck.
Yeah, we were stuck the next week reviewing 2 and 3. And 2 is just all the same jokes as in the first one, but not as good. And 3 is at least trying for something, but just such a bad movie on every level.
So bad, yeah.
Agreed. We're going to skip some, you'll see why. So we're going to skip the Lego ones, because I don't consider that a franchise, just because they fall under Lego.
Sure.
Okay.
I brand anyway, so.
Yeah, I saw the first Lego movie. It was better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so the next franchise, legitimate franchise, is one that you covered on your show as well, which was a highlight. The Lethal Weapon series, which grossed $487 million worldwide.
I'm proud of our Lethal Weapon coverage.
I'm proud that we did more of these than I thought.
Yeah.
A little surprised. Yeah, I like our Lethal Weapon coverage. I think Dan and me were very much, as I recall, pretty much in agreement on the franchise being one of those classic ones that pretty much descends in quality. Starts out real strong. Although Dan, I like Lethal Weapon 2 more than the first
Thank you,
one, right?
Henry. I think Lethal Weapon 2 is one of my favorite sequels that we've come across doing that show.
But then with 3 and 4, it's...
That being said, but you might recall I enjoyed 4 more than 3.
You know what I like that we're doing here naturally, which is really great, is we're actually saying what's the worst of the franchise as we're going through. So that's pretty cool.
It's worst of the best a lot.
Right. I'm sorry if I misremembered that. Yeah, no, because for me, I believe it was one. It was right in order. It was 1, 2.
I don't believe so, Hank. Remember, we were kind of both a little bit more on board with 4 than we thought we were going to be. And 3
was it like 1, 2, 4, 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think 3, man. That one is garbage, but it's the only garbage one of the franchise, and those are pretty fun movies. Danny Glover is great. Whatever. The supporting cast is really fun. Mel Gibson. It's before he,
lost his mind. Yeah.
Well, he's back. He's back now. He's in Daddy's Home too. So that's what franchise you're gonna have to cover.
Yeah. Well, we were going to this week, and we have a guest coming on, and he wants to do Jurassic Park. So.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. And I remember your coverage on Lethal Weapon 3, how much you loved Miles' hair in that one. That was
a lion's mane.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
All right, another franchise you cover. The next one is the Home Alone franchise, which grossed $490 million worldwide.
And I noticed where they're only counting the first 3, not 4 and 5 that went straight to TV.
Yeah, those didn't have a box office gross, I think is what they're going at there.
Yeah.
That was one of the most miserable things that I've had to watch for me. Yeah, personally.
I've been watching Home Alone since I'm 4 years old, so that first movie I have a lot of affection for. The second one isn't good enough for me to still enjoy. It's a pretty bad movie, but I'll stand by that first one. It's a good John Hughes script.
Sure. Atmospheric
movie. Great performances by people like Catherine O'Hara and John Hurd. Yeah.
All right.
Not a fan.
So like that one, like Home Alone is not a very good franchise, but it will not be in my running for worst of the best.
Of note, the first one alone made almost $300 million out of that $490. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
All right, so the next one is the kind of, and I agree, this is a series because it's the same character, so this is allowed. Jack Ryan series, The Hunt for Red October, Patriot Games, Clear and Present Danger, The Sum of All Fears, and Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit, which grossed $497 million worldwide.
Yeah, man, I've seen them all.
I didn't see Shadow Recruit. It's one of those weird franchises where they never really knew it. Ostensibly a franchise, but it's odd that there's 5 of them, and the same actor has only played him twice.
Right.
And they're good movies. I like the first 3 of those. And even the Ben Affleck one had its good moments. I'm sorry, had its moments. But
I agree.
But I just never really got a handle on that franchise.
Okay.
No. It'd be interesting to rewatch for the show. And I mean, now they're doing an Amazon Prime series with John Krasinski from The Office.
Oh, that's
Jack
right.
Ryan.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
So he's old Jack now. Like ever since he did that war movie with Michael Bay, he's just like this buff guy now, I guess.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of double takes to the camera as Jack Ryan.
That's good. All right, the next franchise, which is one of the bigger franchises, Die Hard.
First thing we ever covered.
Yep, $502 million worldwide, and the top grossing one was actually Live Free or Die Hard.
That kind of blows my mind.
Well, inflation.
Yeah,
but,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's going to be one of the best franchises that we come across on here because, as far as I'm concerned, Die Hard is a 5-movie series with 4 flat-out excellent movies. And the first one is an all-time classic.
Absolutely. Right. Your favorite coming up here, guys. Oh, sorry, Henry, you wanted to say something about Die Hard. My apologies.
No, it's okay. I was just gonna say, for me, it's a great franchise with 3 of them being great movies and 1 being good.
I didn't say. I said excellent. That covers me.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. The first 3 to me are pretty good, and it's good. But anyway, yeah. Moving on.
Come on, we both were losing over Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Well, I can't deny that.
All right, the next one is the Rush Hour trilogy with your buddy and hero Brett Ratner.
Yeah. Ratner's sins probably kill the threat of another Rush Hour movie, thankfully.
Let those victims be at peace knowing that we've been spared a part 4.
Yeah. Listen, we've also been spared a Hugh Hefner biopic with Jared Leto, so, I mean, that's the best work that could have been done.
Can you imagine the casting couch on that film?
Yeah, Jared Leto. I'm a method actor. Listen, the Rush Hour movies are bad. That first one was kind of watchable when we did it for the podcast, but the other 2 are flat out bad.
Totally. Yeah, I saw all 3 in theaters for whatever reason.
Me too. We talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
I had a good experience seeing Rush Hour 3 because of the audience.
I saw none of them in the theater, so yep.
Oh, well, that didn't stop it from being one of the top franchises in the world.
It wasn't my money.
All right, next we got Jack Black's Kung Fu Panda trilogy. $524 million worldwide.
That's crazy. I saw the first one of those, and I was enough of a Jack Black fan. I enjoy pandas, and I liked it for what it was. I mean, I'm a grown man. I can't be seen at Kung Fu Panda 3.
Yeah.
But,
unless you're with children, preferably your own, yeah. But,
I don't have any. You have like 19, right, Ryan?
Yeah, just 6, but yeah.
I never saw any of them. Yeah.
All right, the next one, and this is the Planet of the Apes reboot, and rightfully so. $532 million worldwide. This is an incredible franchise, in my opinion.
I agree. I liked all 3, and they got better and better.
It's uncanny that trilogy gets that good.
Yes, I agree.
I haven't seen War yet, but I'm not quite as blown away by this franchise as you guys seem to be. I really liked Rise. That's my favorite one.
You're a James Franco fan, I see.
I am. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes to me was a little bit of a letdown, despite some really good character actors hanging around the fringes.
I'll be interested in hearing your guys' full coverage on that, and
yeah,
that's awesome.
We'll probably end up going all the way back to the beginning.
We will, yeah.
Oh,
we'll
wow.
connect them both.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll be there with you during that journey. I've listened to every one of your episodes, even the movies I haven't seen before, and it's like either I'm pathetic or you guys are that good. I don't know.
No, we're that
probably
good.
a little of both.
Oh, okay, that's good. Chronicles of Narnia, which is kind of surprising. It's that series that I feel like it's bombed, but it's above Planet of the Apes. So with 4 movies, $537 million franchise for 4 movies. Sorry, 3 movies.
Yeah.
3 movies, my bad.
I did see the first one.
Me too.
not in theaters. I mean, that was maybe 11 years ago. I saw it on DVD, I think, and I thought it was okay. I don't remember hating it or liking it particularly, but...
I enjoyed it quite a bit. I liked it so much that I went and read the book after seeing it. But then by the time the second one came out, I'd lost interest.
Basically, Aslan, Gandalf the Lion, all those things combined. Yeah.
Wait till we get to Lord of the Rings.
I am looking forward to that. Next we have, I guess this is considered its own little trilogy, the Wolverine trilogy, X-Men Origins Wolverine, The Wolverine, and Logan, which grossed $538 million worldwide. Logan itself grossing $226 million.
Yeah, rightfully so. That's a bit of a masterpiece there, I thought.
Logan itself is just, by itself, is just an incredible movie that you can do without the other two.
I thought The Wolverine was an okay movie.
Yeah.
Watchable for what it was. Well made. The first one's garbage, but...
Well, yeah.
You know, listen, Hugh Jackman's so good as Wolverine. And I'm a lifelong comic book fan. X-Men is my favorite superhero comic ever.
Okay.
I've read every X-Men comic you could think of. I've got high standards for those movies, and I've enjoyed 2 of the 3 Wolverine movies, so that's...
I enjoyed the Wolverine, because I went back... The only part I didn't like about the Wolverine is I never like it when superheroes lose their powers. I never like that stuff.
What about Superman 2?
I'm a comic book nerd in the web. I watch all the TV shows, too, and anytime they do the episode or part of a movie where the superhero loses its powers... I'm like, I get it. You're like one of us now. Okay, like it's just a story trope that I'm never a big fan of. And so when he had his bones, I don't know, I was kind of grossed out by it. I was like, okay, I know that's how he originally was. I like the metal claws, and so I'm just glad he got them back for Logan. That's just me.
Well,
all right.
I agree on the assessment of the movies pretty much, I think, with you, Ryan, but also definitely with Dan. I think Logan is close to a masterpiece. Mm-hmm. Not only a comic book adaptation, but just as
a
film.
movie.
I mean, I think it's so superb. And I was the same way with the Wolverine as probably you guys were. I thought it was a very well shot, well done movie, but didn't blow my mind or anything. But Origins, yeah.
Yeah. So, Night at the Museum, $541 million, 3 movies.
Never seen him, man.
Me neither.
Okay. Well,
that's an easy one.
Okay, the way Worst of the Best works, if you haven't seen it, you can't say it's the worst. Even if you don't like Ben Stiller or something, you can only make your choice of what's worse of something that you've seen. So
no, I would never do that.
Okay,
Right.
So that won't count. I have seen the first one, half of the second one, and I never bothered with the third one. That's probably for a reason, but...
I'll give Stiller the benefit of the doubt, and Sean Levy now is a Stranger Things guy. So
that's right. It's
okay
fun. It's fun. Robin Williams was fun in it. When you watch it with your kids, that's kind of why I've seen some of these. I'm not bored. I'm watching, getting a kick out of it.
That's the best you can ask for some of these.
Yeah. All right, you have The Mummy, $551 million worldwide. With Brendan Fraser's The Mummy, they included the Mummy spin-off.
Brendan Fraser is not playing the Mummy. He is playing Jack McConnell. I can't believe I remember that character's name.
Wow. I saw the first 2 in theater, and I never saw the third one, I don't think.
Saw them all in theaters, dude. I liked those movies at the time. Yeah, I hate the third one.
The Jet Li one?
Yeah, the Jet Li one.
So you just don't like Jet Li? You don't like Jet Li in Lethal Weapon 4? You don't like him in The Mummy 3?
I said Lethal Weapon 4 was okay.
Okay.
I don't mind Jet Li. That's just a crap movie. It's a different director. Steven Sommer did the first 2, and someone else did the third one. I don't remember who. Yeah, I'm kind of down with those first 2 Mummy movies. Rachel Weisz, effervescent as always. Scorpion King's got The Rock, so I'm down with that.
I saw the first one. I remember liking it. I thought it was very fun and well done, but I didn't see any of the other ones.
All right, we got TMNT, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, $584 million worldwide.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was the right age for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was a big fan as a kid. They were like my first favorite thing in the world.
I liked them too.
Yeah. You know, I loved those first 3 movies when they came out. I suspect that at least 2 of them wouldn't hold up today, but I haven't seen them in years.
Yeah,
I saw the
too.
animated one in theaters, TMNT. I thought that was kind of okay. I skipped out on the Michael Bay ones. We'll watch them for the podcast at some point.
Yeah. I haven't seen...
Yeah, I remember the first... Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe the first one, but you have to keep in mind, when the first one came out, I was already 15, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to watch cartoon turtles talking.
That's all I
I
wanted to
was
watch.
I was 12 and I still think I loved it, so it didn't matter to me. I know I saw the first two. I'm not sure about the third one. I might have.
They go
checked
back
out
to
by that
feudal
point.
Japan, Henry. Do you remember that?
Not at all.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I saw the first. I know I saw the first two, but
Okay.
yeah, after that I didn't.
We got Cars next at 588 million.
Yeah, I saw the first one out of loyalty to Pixar because I think they're amazing. No bueno. Didn't like it.
I didn't see any of them. I like Pixar films too, but I didn't see any of those.
I saw the first one. I'm not even a car guy, and so I barely got through the first one. I saw the second one with one of my kids. I can't remember who, and I was bored out of my mind. So I never saw the third one. Alien.
Oh,
Henry,
590 million worldwide.
yeah.
go ahead, Henry.
What a franchise. I only heartily dislike one of them. Oh, I'm sorry. I see here they do include.
This
the
is including
hybrids.
AVP, yeah.
Okay, then I heartily dislike two of them. But even for the fun of it, AVPR and AVP are still better than Alien Resurrection to me. I love the first three Aliens, famously, as we argued on the show. I love Prometheus, and Alien Covenant was a big letdown, but it's not a bad movie. So.
All right.
Yeah, we
I agree with
covered
all
it
that, yeah.
on the show. I think
Yep.
Alien and Aliens are all-time classics. I think Alien 3 looks like piss-stained garbage. I think Resurrection is a bad movie. Prometheus is pretty good. Covenant, a little worse than that. I hated the first AVP, but I was kind of down with the Requiem.
Sure were.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
funny. I love the original 1 and 2. I've watched them numerous times. 3 and 4, I saw them both in the theaters. I was never really down with the Sigourney Weaver clone, and I thought Winona Ryder was hot in part 4. And then,
I've seen every one of them in the theater except for AVPR. I guess the original. I don't think I did get to see. And I saw the second one in a re-release. I saw all but two of those. That big franchise.
yeah, it's got a lot.
Anyway.
All right, so next we have that revolutionary, The Matrix, $592 million for the 3 movies.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, saw the first two in theaters, and we covered this as well.
We covered it on the podcast, man. That first one, it's very of its time. It's an interesting film, and man, those sequels suck. They're just real bad.
Best part of part 2 for me was the highway scene, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I like
yeah.
bits and pieces of that too.
That was pretty revolutionary. I remember thinking that at the time. It was pretty fun to see that scene, but
Yeah.
I guess all right.
I try not to give extra points for revolutionary.
Right, fair enough. All right, so now we've got the cleverly named The Fockers Trilogy, 594 million worldwide. Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, and Little Fockers. Of course, it's a play on words, just one little letter, and it becomes crass.
Yes.
It's true.
Yeah.
I saw the first two.
So did I, in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. I liked the first one enough when it came out that when the second one came out, I was excited about it.
I believe I was in the same exact arena, my friend. Yeah. I had a good time during the first one. The second one was pretty unwatchable, as I recall.
I don't know. It's one of those movies where the female characters should be important in theory, but they're never given anything to do. So that rubs me the wrong way.
You're right.
But, I mean, Stiller's good in it. Owen Wilson has some nice moments. De Niro's doing his analyze this thing, his mugging, which is fine. I mean, those. The first movie's probably not that bad, but I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing that this is this high up on the list. Like the Fockers movies made more money than The Matrix. That's insane.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah. And Die Hard and Aliens.
Yeah. Next, we have the incredible Terminator franchise, 608 million worldwide. Of course, the first two are indomitable classics, in my opinion.
Yeah, you could skip all the other ones.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
like any of them.
I've seen them all. I didn't make it through Genesis. I turned it off after about 15, 20 minutes. I have that controversial opinion of Terminator 2 where I do like it a lot. It's not one of my favorite movies ever made.
Wow.
I love it. Yeah, I just never was on the train for that.
Well, I'll tell you what, this ages me a little bit, but I saw this when I was 17 or 16 years old. My buddy and I heard that there was a comic store downtown that was giving out advanced screening tickets. The first 100 people would get these advanced screening tickets. And this was, of course, before the internet, before spoilers or anything. So we got these advanced tickets. It came out like a week before. There was like only 100 people in the theater. The ticket winners, that was it. We still thought that, a spoiler alert, that the T-100 was bad. And it wasn't until he saves the boy in the hallway that we realized that he was there to save the boy, not to kill the boy, and we thought the cop was the good Terminator. So we were actually tricked. And then when Arnold's Terminator, blows him away with the shotgun, and then he heals back up again, we were doing double takes. One, blown away by the CGI. We never seen anything like it. Two, by the twist. We're like, whoa, he's here to save the boy. Arnie's the good Terminator. And we're like, how is he going to kill this Terminator? We're just like kids in a candy store. We just never seen anything like it. I kind of missed that moment in film where the movie just blows you away. Where you're like, I've never seen this before.
Yeah, sure. I saw 2 and 3 in the theater. I was a teenager when I saw 2. I probably liked it more at the time.
I was too old when I saw the Terminator movies.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were cool.
I saw the first one on VHS for my grade 5 birthday party. My parents brought it home. My mom listens to the show. I don't know if she had any idea what she was letting us watch when I was 9 years old, but we all loved it.
Yeah, probably not.
Your mom listens to this show?
She listens to all of my podcasts. Bless her heart.
Good for her. Jeez.
She's my number one fan. She listens to both podcasts every episode. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
That's probably partly why it's PG. Okay. Next, we have the Men in Black trilogy. $620 million.
Well, the first one came out at the height of Will Smith, July 4th mania.
Right.
And that's an okay movie. Barry Sonnenfeld doing his Tim Burton ripoff thing. The other two were bad, right? I haven't seen the third one, to be fair, but that second one...
You're going to. You're going to have to.
I know.
Yeah, I saw the first 2. I remember distinctly thinking the second one was absolutely awful in every way, but I
remember I was excited in theory. Like Laura Flynn Boyle as the villain, I thought was kind of an interesting idea.
Yeah, I think I was too, because I think I saw it in the theater, and I did not see the first one in theater, but I liked the first one.
The second one felt undercooked to me. It's like one of the few movies I've ever walked out of thinking it was too short.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. We got the Hangover trilogy at $644 million. Yeah.
The first one was what it was. Made me laugh a few times, and the other two are really bad. Particularly that third one. The Hangover 3 it has to be one of the worst movies we'll discuss on this list.
Okay.
I've never seen the second or third. I saw the first one, and I agree with Dan's assessment.
All right, the next one's Alvin the Chipmunks, if you can believe it, at $663 million worldwide.
I haven't seen any of them, but Squeakquel is one of the best titles.
I would have to go with their latest one, the Road Chip.
The Road Chip. You see what they did there? Yeah.
I do, yeah.
Clever.
I haven't seen any of them.
Yeah, I figured none of us had. I'd be actually kind of worried if any of us had. Okay, Madagascar bringing in $673 million worldwide for their 3 movies there. Wow, or 4.
Yep.
Sorry.
They like to move it. I saw the first one. I was working at Blockbuster at the time. We used to play it in the store. And
I think I've seen the first one.
Really? That's surprising.
I think it was one of those situations, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's at this point that there was a off-color joke that was said by Dan, and that's all the hint I'm going to give you guys. But I wanted to keep in our reaction for afterwards because I think our reaction is fun, and it shows why I love these guys so much. But that's all the hints I'm going to give. These guys are awesome. They make me laugh, but let's continue on with the show.
Oh, please cut that out.
Sorry.
Edit that out, you...
I will. Oh, Daddy, you guys kick me. You guys...
Really unbelievable.
I love you guys so much. All right.
I'm sorry, Henry.
Of course, we have the greatest franchise ever made coming up next year, the Rocky franchise, bringing in a colossal $675 million for their 7 movies. But yeah, with inflation, we know that Rocky 4 alone. So if Rocky 4 came out today, you might find this interesting. It cost $65 million to make if you were to make it today, and it would have grossed $660 million.
Wow.
Amazing. Yeah. It was a phenomenon.
Yeah.
Rocky, the only one that's not good is Rocky 5.
Sure.
I like all the other movies plenty, to varying degrees. I think Creed and Rocky are masterpieces. I think 2 is a fine film. I think 3 and 4 are fun little weirdos. You know, it's a franchise I have a lot of affection for.
Well, and I will say it was because of your coverage of Rocky that I found you guys on Twitter and I listened to it. Like I said, I loved your scathing of it. I'm not stupid to what the flaws in the movies are, and so I enjoyed your humor that you provided with the franchise. I like these guys' shtick. I went and started at the beginning of your podcast, so that's how I got into you guys'. So
well, look at that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Next we have Ice Age.
Henry, what you didn't talk about, you like Rocky,
sorry.
right, Henry?
Yes, Dan knows I'm still upset with him.
Yeah, I'm trying to be extra nice to Henry now.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Can't take this guy anyway.
Hank, it was just a joke. I'm sorry.
Well, it's probably some truth to it, or else it wouldn't, So.
Doesn't matter.
You're not helping me.
I know I'm not. So what's your thoughts on Rocky there, Henry?
I think the first one's a masterpiece. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. 2, I remember liking it. I loved it as a teenager and being pretty let down by it on a rewatch. 3 had its moments. Overall, not so good. 4, for some reason, still just is so much fun. I love it. 5 is really the only bad one. I liked Rocky Balboa surprisingly more than I had never seen it until we covered it. And,
I remember that. Yeah.
I really liked it a lot. And Creed I saw in theaters, loved it, and loved it again when I rewatched it.
So actually, the question I have for you guys is, how are you going to squeak in movies that have come out after you've covered franchises like Creed 2?
Guess we're not. I don't know.
No. We are. We're definitely. I've thought about this, Henry. How do you feel about a bonus episode when those things happen?
That sounds right. That sounds right.
Good, because I'm obviously looking forward to hearing. I mean, hey, I would love to be the guest on that one.
Yeah, we'll see if Creed 2 happens.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, come on! Would you? Okay, we're good. Oh, don't do that to me. Okay, it's going to happen. Mark my words.
Right.
Mark my words. Like I said, we're not a Bill Cosby territory. Okay. He still has a career, I think. Ice Age.
I never saw any of them.
Okay.
Me neither.
It's got Ray Romano as a chipmunk or something, right?
Something like that. I'm not sure. All right. Well, they threw in the Planet of the Apes here with Oldham Together. So Oldham Together, old and new. It's $800 million almost. That's crazy.
Yeah, they're the old ones. They're varying levels of success. I think the original is great. Bookended by the horrible Tim Burton remake thing.
Yeah.
I'm one of the few people that saw it in the theaters and actually did not mind it at all. I was actually surprised by the vitriol for it, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Vivitrol.
Is that the right word?
Vitriol.
Sorry.
It's a word. Is a drug that drug addicts take to to stop relapses.
There you go. I was surprised that drug addicts were trying to stop relapsing after they watched this movie. But
I only wanted to relapse after I watched that movie.
No, I'm one of the few people that actually bought it on DVD and watched it repeatedly.
I received it on DVD as a present and I sold it.
Oh, I would have bought it off you.
Yeah.
No, it's weird. It's weird. I liked it. I don't know what it is with me, but I actually was one of the few that liked it, I guess.
Burton apologist.
Yeah, no, well, maybe, but I do like Burton. The Bourne series, very high up there, $800 million.
Yeah, they're great. I love those movies.
Not a bad movie in that bunch.
I haven't seen Legacy. I enjoyed the other 4 plenty. I think Supremacy and Ultimatum are really great.
They're great movies. I don't think Bourne Legacy was very popular, but I liked it a lot. Jason Bourne, probably the weakest one, but it was still entertaining.
Is that the one where he has a full memory of everything?
I don't remember.
I don't think he ever has a full memory of everything.
I don't know.
All right. The Hobbit trilogy on its own made $816 million.
Okay, now I have never watched any of these, which really makes me mad because I want this to be the worst of the best.
Yeah.
But you can't do it, brother.
I know, I'm not allowed. But I mean, I've read the book, The Hobbit. I read it as a kid. It's like 150 pages or something.
Right.
It was made into a 9-hour trilogy of films. That's so crazy. It's impossibly insane. Peter Jackson is a filmmaker I have a lot of respect for. Outside of the realm of franchises, I really do not like the work he's done in
Oh,
Middle
wow.
Earth.
Well, I look forward to your coverage on this. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. Oh God.
Well, we're not at the. Oh, I see. Yep, we're not.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Okay.
All right, the next one, Captain America, my favorite Avenger, at $844 million.
Oh, is he your favorite Avenger? That's good.
Yes, he is.
You're
Yeah.
a Canadian. Shouldn't you be like an Alpha Flight?
Well, don't forget, I lived in the States for four years, and I actually have 3 American-born children.
How about
Oh,
that?
really?
I didn't know that.
Wow. All right.
You have 4
so-
children in 4 years?
Well, 2 of them were twins. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Captain America's a weird franchise because they're basically just plug-ins to the Marvel Universe. Like, First Avenger is a weird prequel.
Right.
And
right.
then Winter Soldier is kind of like a fun little spy movie. And then Civil War is kind of just an Avengers movie.
Fair enough.
So it's odd, but that being said, I think Winter Soldier and Civil War are 2 of the stronger Marvel Universe
Agreed.
entries.
yeah. Agreed.
Civil War is still my favorite Marvel film.
It's my
And
second
I really-
favorite.
Right.
My favorite's Winter
You're
Soldier.
Good for you.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
it's a
I
great
love-
movie.
I love Winter Soldier. The first Avenger, I think, is one of the lesser ones, definitely for me.
Sure,
At least.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know Dan's favorite. What is Spider-Man, right? The new
Spider-Man Homecoming. That's my new favorite
Right.
Marvel movie.
Yeah, it was fun. I just saw it like 2 weeks ago.
I loved it.
Yeah, I was surprised how much and of course, Michael Keaton can do no wrong wherever he goes, as far as I'm concerned. But
Well, except for in Birdman or The Unexpected
I knew
Virtue
you-
of Ignorance.
I knew you were going to say that, and I knew you were going to do the whole title. So
Thank
I'm
you.
glad. Yeah. Toy Story trilogy, 3 movies, $853 million.
I've
They're-
seen all of them.
They're great, and the third one's the best.
The
Yeah,
third one
agreed.
was great. It was one of the most harrowing experiences I've
Me
ever
too.
had.
Made me cry multiple times.
Yeah, that and just the tense. That's the one where they're like getting poured into the
In the trash
oven or
compactor.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was
good stuff.
rough. Yeah.
So one of my favorite characters of all time, love Indiana Jones. He comes in 4 movies at $906 million.
Yeah, we just covered those.
Top grossing was Crystal Skull with $317 million.
Wow. See, I would have thought with inflation that would have been.
We're not
No.
doing inflation.
No, these aren't inflation, Henry. No, that's
Aren't
a,
inflation. Sorry,
That's right. That's right. So these numbers are strictly as they stand when they were out. So if we were doing an inflation one, like I said, the Rocky IV alone would almost be $700 million just that one
Right.
film. Yeah.
Right. I like these movies exactly in the order they came out.
Yeah, fair enough. I get it. Believe it or not, Temple Doom is my favorite of them all.
That's fine.
It's a fun, weird 80s movie, but
I just
yeah.
love it. I just love it. The scene on the
think it. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say the scene on the bridge alone. I don't know. It's just I'm a straight male, but I tell you, Harrison Ford on that bridge with the sword, he cuts the. And it's just that's the studliest he's ever been in film.
Two's got Kate Capshaw and Short Round.
Well, Kate Capshaw, she's annoying, but man, she's hot. I'm not allowed to say this anymore because we're not allowed to say anything about girls anymore. But I think she's. I
No,
think
you're
she's-
allowed to say Kate Capshaw's hot. She is. Karen Allen's hotter and a better actress, so...
Well, you're right about being a better actress, but I
I'm
get.
with Ryan on this. I'm with Ryan on this one.
But I get Steven.
Better actress, but yeah.
Yeah, I get Steven Spielberg's attraction. Don't get me wrong. Bless Steven's heart there. Next, another huge franchise, Tom Cruise, who keeps on going with his Mission Impossibles, $935 million, and they're going to keep going because he's filming a 6th one right now.
I love Tom Cruise. I like him in this role, but I dropped out after the third one.
Ghost Protocol was actually really, really good. So I look
I've
forward.
seen 'em
I've
all.
heard that.
I've seen them all. I liked all of them. I loved the first one. Liked the rest. Hated the second one. Hated it.
Yeah, that's a bad
Hated it.
movie. John Woo.
I'll never watch it again. Well,
Yes, you will. Yes,
Yeah.
you will, Henry.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
yeah,
Yep.
that's right. I can't say that too much.
Well, Mission Impossible 2 would have been a half hour long if they didn't do so many slow motion scenes.
Oh my God!
Listen,
you got that.
I like doves, so I enjoyed that film.
Well, good. All right, Iron Man, my least favorite Avenger.
Oh, that's crazy. That's a crazy opinion.
My. Wow.
In fact, I never even saw part 3. The most I've ever known about part 3 was your guys' coverage of it.
Wow.
Robert Downey Jr., incredible actor. I've been a fan of his since I was a kid, really. I've always enjoyed his movies. He does a great job playing the character Stark, but Iron Man, I don't like the way he is. I just don't like the way he is. It just reminds me of a lot of douches in my life, and
That's fair enough. My least favorite Avenger, I'm actually going to see it this weekend. My least favorite Avenger.
Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm looking
We're just
forward
talking
to it.
about movies, right? Movie Avengers.
Yeah. I'm just referring to the cinematic universe.
Okay.
But this franchise, 3 movies, $1.04 billion.
Yeah, deserves every bit of it. Launched the Marvel Universe quite well with the first one.
There's another one like Indiana Jones for me. I like them in the order they came out.
Sure.
There you go.
And I do too, I think. That being said, I think 2 and 3 are underappreciated by a lot of people.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
2 is underappreciated. I don't think 3 needs any more attention.
Shane Black, yo.
Yeah, that's true. You're a Shane Black fan. That's right. Yeah. So next is the Lord of the Rings trilogy, Middle Earth, $1.06 billion. And Lord of the Rings winning Best Picture. I think this is, other than Rocky, is this our Best Picture only entry of this franchise
Probably.
stuff? Yeah.
I mean, unless
saw
we hit
all
Godfather at some point.
Yeah, right. I saw all 3 of these in the theater, and I'll never know why.
They were big events, Hank, and
it's a
they
mystery
came
to
out
me.
so quickly that you didn't realize you hated them for a while.
Oh my God! I mean, the first one was a big event, and I remember being nonplussed. And then I still went to the second one, and then the third one, and I don't know what happened. That was a very strange lapse in my gullibility I don't get it. But anyway,
I saw the first one in theaters, hated it, vowed never to see any of the other ones, didn't, stuck to my word, even when the third one won Best Picture, and
I
then
know what's coming.
Yep, and then, as always, a woman. And I was dating a girl, and she made me sit down with her and watch all the extended editions of the DVDs.
Man,
And
I
so
would have.
I saw like 12 hours of this Lord of the Rings.
No offense, but
suck.
it sounds like a woman after my heart. I love these films. So. She and I would have got.
I know
She would
most
have got.
people love them.
I did. I really loved them. I'm not gonna lie. I think I saw all 3 of them 4 or 5 times each in theaters.
Jeez.
In theaters 4 or 5 times each.
And then I bought the extended editions, and then I watched every single minute of every single extra, and I even listened to every single commentary. I'm not even joking.
That's amazing, dude. I don't think I've ever seen any movie in the theater more than 3 times. Wow.
Not me. I've seen a couple 4. I think 4 is my record. I saw the first X-Men movie 4 times in theaters.
You know what movie I've seen the most in theaters?
What?
Tombstone.
Really?
Henry's gonna love that.
Oh, I love Tombstone.
I saw it 7 times in the theaters.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
I saw it in the theaters. But
Well, you're a
not-
big Western guy, man.
Yeah, I love westerns, but here's the thing. Because I was trying to tell people you don't understand how good this movie is. I was paying people to go see this movie. I was buying their ticket.
Yeah. I'd actually like to see that movie again. It's been a while. Yeah.
The only disappointment I have is it didn't come with the sequel, because I'd love to hear you guys' coverage on it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love Tombstone. Okay, the next one, The Avengers, 2 movies, Marvel's The Avengers, and I guess the official sequel, Age of Ultron, at $1.08 billion, and I guess they're working on the next one. What's the next one called? Avengers
The Infinity War.
Infinity War, yeah. And that alone's going to probably make $1 billion.
Yeah, I love it. I'm psyched that these movies are this high up on this list with only 2 in the franchise.
It's pretty crazy.
And they did such a great job with casting, particularly with Downey and Mark Ruffalo and Hemsworth. Everybody. Scarlett Johansson's great. It's such a well cast movie, top to bottom. Samuel L. Jackson. The second one is not a good enough script, really. And I say that as a Joss Whedon fan. But it's still a fun as hell movie just because of who you're watching. And I'm looking forward to this next one. They seem to have an idea of where they're going, and I think the Russo brothers are a really inspired choice to make this movie.
Yeah, and we're going to see the death of Iron Man. Thank goodness.
Oh!
Yeah, but then they could bring in Riri. Little Riri.
No, actually, I think it's going to be Captain America that is killed, is my
I like
understanding.
them both. I love them both.
Captain America dying was a good comic book storyline, so I'd be cool with that.
I think they're doing that. My understanding is he's dying, the Winter Soldier takes over, as per the comics.
Cool by me.
Superman series, and they included Superman Returns and Superman Man of Steel and Batman v Superman.
Thank you.
So the Superman movies alone, all the Superman movies together, have made $1.14 billion.
Well, I think that when we covered this, I think that for the most part, with the glaring exceptions, infamously of Superman Returns and Man of Steel, I think that Dan and me were pretty much in agreement on all the movies.
We were hanging hard, pretty much. 3 and 4, I think, are two of the worst movies we'll come across on this list. But, but yeah, those first two are real watchable, fun, early superhero movies. And I'm a fan of Superman Returns.
So I've seen parts 2 all the way to Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. I've seen them all in the theaters. Superman 2, of course, was amazing. But I remember Superman Returns being very excited about this new beginning and being very disappointed that it fell apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Not a fan of the DC Universe films. I haven't liked one of them yet.
Well, we're gonna get there. So we got the Dark Knight trilogy: Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. This is Christopher Nolan's versions of the Batman at $1.186 billion.
They're great. I'm hot and cold on Nolan, and I am hot on all three of these.
This is your favorite work by Nolan, right? The Batman stuff?
Yeah, I would say so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I love all three of them. Obviously saw all three in the theater. Actually, I saw The Dark Knight 3 times in the theater.
Wow.
There you go. That's your record.
Might have been the last movie I saw 3 times in the theater. But
I'm one of the few people in this trilogy that likes Bane better than Joker.
I can't say that, but I do like Rises better than The Dark Knight.
There you go.
I
love Bane.
Yeah.
I love Bane.
Yeah, Bane
I think he's great.
I'm such a Tom Hardy. I love Tom Hardy. Stop it. He's the man behind the mask in every film. Leave him alone.
If I saw him on the street, I wouldn't recognize him.
I just love
too.
Yeah.
Me too.
His version of Bane, his voice and everything. I actually go on YouTube just to watch Bane scenes. But anyways. Despicable Me franchise, 4 movies, including the Minions, has made $1.2 billion.
That's amazing. I'm 0 for 4 on these.
Yeah.
Never saw him. Me neither.
No, me neither. And I have kids, and the way they put them on, I walk out. I think I wouldn't be able to handle it.
We should cover these, honestly. They're like so big, Henry, that we should do these.
Agreed. I'd do it.
Okay, so this franchise doesn't really count because they threw in the Superman films here, but they've called... So we're not going to really do it, but they call it the DC Universe. We're not going to include it in our franchise pick because Wonder Woman and Suicide Squad will be coming out with their own sequel, so we'll skip. The next one is...
Can I just use this forum to say I did not like Wonder Woman, and I don't get what people see in it.
All right, so you agree with James Cameron?
Yeah, I kind of do. No, I don't agree with what he said about the character because that's ridiculous and he's a fool. I just didn't think the movie was very good. I think Gal Gadot was fantastic in it. She's perfect.
I could watch her read a phone book. I don't care, man. She's the most beautiful woman in film history right now.
I love
her.
I'm in awe of her beauty on screen. I'm not going to lie. And I was surprised about how much I was taken in by her when I saw her in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Thank you for the full title.
All right, so we got Twilight Saga, $1.36 billion.
I know Dan can talk to this.
I saw all 5. I saw all 5.
Wow.
They're garbage. You know what? Honestly, this might be worst of the best.
Ooh.
I liked them on some level.
But you can't reveal your answer yet.
Okay, but I'm throwing stuff out there.
Sure, fair enough. This is in the running. Okay, fair enough.
So New Moon, I thought was kind of a watchable movie, and I thought the last one had some moments. These are some pretty bad movies. They're really boring, is the thing. Like they're super slow moving, and they have like no humor. And Kristen Stewart, who I usually think is really great, seems bored. And it made a lot of money.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Henry, you a fan of these too?
I never saw them. Not a one.
Oddly enough, well, the first date that I went on with my wife was actually in 2009. We saw Twilight Saga New Moon in the theaters. Because she read the books, my wife, I was bored out of my mind.
Is that the only one you've seen?
No, here's the thing. I've seen, because of being married to her, I've seen the first 4, but for whatever reason, we never saw part 2, and I think we're okay with that.
Weird.
I never know which person she chooses. Does she choose the werewolf or the vampire? I don't even know.
She ends up with she marries the vampire, and she becomes half vampire, and they have a little daughter together named Renesmee.
That's adorable. So we got the Star Trek franchise, all the Star Trek films together. They put together, and that's fair.
It's like 100 movies competing with like Despicable Me.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. However, if you were to include inflation costs, the original Star Trek series would still be up there, way up there. $1.4 billion for the franchise, though. Still makes money, the Star Trek films.
There's a few of these I like.
I've noticed, looking at this, I've seen all of the original ones. I've seen all the reboots. I've never seen one of the Next Generation ones. No.
That's crazy. I've seen 3 of the Next Generation ones.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I like a few of these movies, quite a bit.
Do you want to guess how many I've seen of these?
How many?
All of them.
Yes. Huge fan.
Oh, you're a big Star Trek guy.
I knew it.
So,
yeah.
Ryan, is the worst one The Final Frontier?
Okay, of the original, no, the worst one is actually the motion picture.
No.
Yeah, I actually enjoy. No, you know what? The original motion picture with them looking at the Enterprise for 30 minutes as they're traveling from the space station to the little shuttle, like in awe of the new Enterprise they're about to fly. Like we get it.
That.
It's just it's kind of drawn out. I get Final. You know, it's funny. Star Trek V is kind of like the Rocky V of the Star Treks. It really is. They had no budget. William Shatner directed it. It's a horrible CGI. It is pretty bad. They're looking for God and they find a man in a mustache or something like that. It's a horrible. It is a horrible film. I would agree. It's probably the worst. Yeah.
I will always have a great affection for Star Trek VI, the Undiscovered Country. I still love that movie.
We just brought it
I
up
love
today
it.
on the podcast.
Oh wow!
That's right. It came up on my top 10 of '91.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so jealous. You guys, I wish I was a part of your show sometimes. I always.
You can be.
You are. You're on an episode.
Yeah, I know. Young Guns ones.
If you write in with your year lists, I'll read them on the show.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Okay, you give me the year. Anyways,
all right.
I'm a huge movie nerd, so I get jealous about your show sometimes. Like, man, I should have thought of that. Okay, Jurassic Park, 4 films, $1.4 billion.
The first one is the movie that got me into cinema. So, I mean, and I don't want to spoil too much because we're covering this like next week on our show.
Okay, interesting.
I have a ton of affection for that movie, like out of bounds affection. And the second one, I don't want to spoil too much, but the only one I think is not a good movie is the third one.
Yeah, that's the only one I didn't see. Although I'm not positive I've seen the second one all the way through.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
All right, I'll give my thoughts.
I heard something in the background. I thought something.
Oh, that's
we slowed down.
No, that's just my kids. My son just walked in asking if anyone's here, so I'll edit this out. Oh, he's gone. Okay. My mom's watching the little ones, but my 10-year-old just walked in the house. Is anyone here? And I'm like, whatever, he can take care of himself. Yeah.
Shrek.
Shrek. Yeah, Shrek. The next one. Shrek. Big money maker. $1.4 billion.
Saw the first one, and I remember I liked the first one. I don't think I saw.
I have a major confession. I saw 3 of these in theaters, Henry.
That doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't. Nothing surprises with Daniel anymore. So yeah,
no, that's true.
They're not good. They're bad. I kind of hate these movies, actually. It's one of these things, like, they took the Pixar model, like, they're for kids, but let's throw some jokes in there for the adults, too.
Right.
and it's got Mike Myers just doing his uninspired, like, I'm a Scotsman character, remember this? You liked it, and so I married an ex-murderer.
Right. Yeah. Which I saw in the theaters.
Yeah, great movie.
Me too.
And I don't know, man. Eddie Murphy is a donkey. I kind of hate these movies.
All right, interesting. Okay, who was supposed to play Shrek? Do you remember who the original actor was?
Yes, it was Chris Farley.
Yep, he actually did voice work for it too. I think you can find it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Mike Myers recorded his entire role, not with a Scottish accent before, and he asked them to like redo it.
Of course he did. I know you love Mike. I know you love Mike Myers. So, The Hunger Games, $1.4 billion. Jennifer Lawrence, the blonde-haired Kirsten Stewart.
Oh, come on! She's more than that. I love the Hunger Games movies.
Yeah, I thought I would You know what? I like the first two. I think I like the first one a lot because I didn't read the books. And I was surprised by, oh, wow, this is a lot darker than I anticipated. But by the time I got to Mockingjay Part 2, I was like, I hope they all die.
That's fair. That's fair, honestly. I didn't love the Mockingjays. But Catching Fire, I think, is like an all-time great family action movie.
We covered them, and
yeah, you did.
I liked the first 3 movies pretty well. I was pretty happy with them. Yeah.
I feel like I should be a bigger fan of Jennifer Lawrence than I am, and I'm not, and I don't know why.
I love her. Have you seen Winter's Bone?
Was that part of the Fappening? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I gotta edit that out.
God.
All right.
That was the first thing I ever saw her in. Yeah.
The Fappening?
The Fappening?
Yes. Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Right.
You're gonna have your work cut out for you.
I know.
Buddy.
I know. Well, I actually had it really cut out when I did the Young Guns one. You guys were nuts on that one. Because I didn't tell you that I was editing.
No, I listened to your version of it.
I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
All right, Pirates of the Caribbean. Boy, 5 films, 1.45 billion plus.
I dropped out after the first one.
Theater? Me too. Yeah. And I liked the first one. I saw it in theaters, and I was pleasantly surprised, and but not enough to ever continue going. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
They're all like 2.5 hours long. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's something we should cover at some point because they're really big. People love these movies, but man, I don't know. Orlando Bloom, Keira Knightley. I mean, I like Keira Knightley, okay, sometimes, but I don't know. It seems real boring to me.
I agree.
All right,
real boring. Am I right, Gore Verbinski? Yeah.
Yes, good job. Again, we have Johnny Depp in makeup acting weird. That's basically...
That's what he does.
That's what he does,
Not a fan. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. All right,
Remember
Transformers.
that time he kicked the shit out of Amber Heard? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but he didn't sexually assault her, so he's okay.
He just brutally beat her.
He just beat her up.
He gets to still be famous, and in Harry Potter movies.
It's weird. It's weird how Hollywood works and how the public does what they do with celebrities. Transformers, 6 films, $1.5 billion.
I can't wait to cover these, honestly. They sound so bonkers. I only ever saw the first 2. And,
yeah, me too. I only saw the first 2, yeah.
They're not boring.
Meaning first 2 meaning what?
Meaning Transform. No. I've seen the animated one too with Orson Welles narrating, but I mean the first 2 Michael Bay ones, and they're fun on some level. I don't know. They're super racist and weird and sexist. I really want to see the other ones. What are these Mark Wahlberg ones?
Yeah, the best one for me, and I'm telling you right now, is Transformers the movie in '86. Saw that in theaters. I saw it in theaters when I was 11 years old. I was just blown away about how dark it was for a cartoon that we used to watch on Saturday mornings. Became this dark movie. I don't
remember if I saw it in theaters, but I think I did. I was pretty young, but I think I saw it in theaters.
Skip swears. He swears in the movie. We're like, whoa! Yeah.
I remember seeing some of the 2007, the first Transformers, and not getting through it. I couldn't handle it. No.
Yeah. Now, one of your favorite franchises are coming up. The Fast and Furious, $1.5 billion, 8 films.
If you had a sister show called Best of the Best.
Now, I will admit, your love of these films surprised me to no end.
It surprised us, too.
Yeah.
When I listened to your coverage of the episodes, I'd only seen the first 4. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, they really rave about these other ones. So I went through Fast 5 to Fast 7 in one sitting.
Yeah.
I was at sea, and I had them available at sea, so I watched them on my laptop. I felt like my brain had melted, and I was losing. I was like, I can't take this. I was like, no more cars, please. I couldn't do it anymore. And I was like, even if Part 8 was available, I don't think I could have watched it. So I still haven't seen Part 8 yet because I'm not sure how I can handle what I've heard. The Rock apparently punches a torpedo or something. I don't know.
You say that like it's bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. And now they have all this drama about The Rock being unavailable to do Part 9, and the one actor is Ty Diggs or whatever.
Tate.
He's like,
Tate. No, it's not Tate Ziggs. Tyrese Gibson.
oh, wow. Oops, the other guy?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oops.
No, I love them. I love them very much, especially 4 through 7. Those are the masterpieces.
You know what? And I love that you love them because it made your show more fun to listen to. Because I admit I was like, that's not what I thought was going to happen. So I appreciate your enthusiasm for something that I was like, wow. Again, you surprised me. So
I was dreading doing them, and my dread was unfounded. Yeah. Yeah.
So now we're getting near the end here. We got Spider-Man. The Spider-Man movies have made $1.9 billion.
They sure have.
I've seen them all. I've seen them all except one in theater.
What?
I didn't see Spider-Man 3 in the theaters.
Oh, I saw it at midnight, I think. Look, they're good. Spider-Man, they're real all over the place. The Raimi ones, they all have their positives and negatives. The Mark Webb ones you can just throw right in the garbage. It's like the only major superhero movie I ever just skipped seeing was The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
When you mentioned it on your show, actually, I wanted to tweet that I hadn't seen it. I haven't seen it either, and I went right to Homecoming as well.
Yeah, but Homecoming, I think, is the best one of these Spider-Man movies, and my favorite Marvel Universe movie. I thought it was just fun and great and exactly what I want superheroes to be. I mean, not all superheroes. If that was a Batman movie, it would suck. But, I mean, Spider-Man's one of my favorite characters, and particularly the original Stan Lee run and the Brian Michael Bendis Ultimate Spider-Man run, and the character that I read about in those two runs of comic books is exactly the character I saw on screen. It was really exciting.
All right, this next one's going to be hard to do the budget for because they added the X-Men to the Wolverine movies for their budget and Deadpool. But I would say the X-Men movies, from X-Men to X-Men Apocalypse, would probably be about $1.5 billion, I would think. So, X-Men films, your Brett Ratner films, what do you think of these ones? And your Bryan Singer.
Well,
Bryan Singer and Brett Ratner, both upstanding gentlemen who did the X-Men film.
I've said this. I've said that Matthew Vaughn is the only director to make an X-Men film that is not horrible sex offender. But, listen, X2 is my favorite superhero movie.
Okay, yeah, it's good. It is good. Yeah.
I love that movie. So, I mean, Last Stand is really bad, the Ratner one, but...
Right. You know what's even worse? It was Apocalypse was worse than Last Stand, I think.
Apocalypse is not worse than Last Stand, but I will say this about Apocalypse. About 6 months after I saw Apocalypse, I was updating my Netflix queue. I still do DVDs. I could not remember whether I'd seen X-Men Apocalypse. And that's pretty bad.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough.
I always liked some of these. I saw X-Men and X2 in the theater, and I love them both very much. I love X-Men First Class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was good.
I liked Days of Future Past. Yep. Apocalypse was entirely forgettable, and I love Deadpool. So for the most part, I think they hit the mark.
Yeah, and that's why I'm not including Deadpool.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Yeah, I don't know, man. I really liked First Class. If I had to pick, I really thought that was great. I really loved it.
That's a good movie, and I like Days of Future Past too.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, those two were good. Now this is a big franchise. We can't obviously talk about it too long because there's so many movies. But of course, the James Bond franchise.
Go ahead, Hank.
$2.06 billion for the franchise. The top grossing one was Skyfall, and I think that's my favorite.
Skyfall is in the my top 3 Bond films of all time. Before Dan and I did this show...
That's right, Henry. And it's about the 4-year anniversary of this, because remember we did this on Thanksgiving?
Oh, wow. Did we?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. We, for no other reason than that we're nerds, the two of us ranked all the Bond movies in order. I don't know where that list is now. I'm sure I still have it somewhere, but I'm a really big James Bond fan, have been ever since I can remember watching anything, TV, movies, anything, so I'm a big fan, and I'm glad Daniel Craig's coming back. Skyfall, he's really, I mean, Spectre was very underwhelming, but Casino Royale and Skyfall are absolutely astonishing movies, and I have a lot of great affection for many of the other ones, so It is interesting to me that it's $2 billion and there's so many films. I kind of thought it would even be more money.
Sure. Oh, come on. No one cared. First of all,
keep in mind the inflation. Yeah, this would be an interesting one to do because it'd be probably $5 billion if it was inflation.
Right. Yeah. Right. Good point.
I think Casino Royale is my favorite. My second favorite is Honor Majesty's Secret Service. I'm a big George Lazenby fan.
Yes, he is.
And I love Goldfinger. I mean, I like almost all the Connery ones. There's a lot of good James Bond movies. There's a lot of trash too, but
yes, there is. Yeah.
It's a larger percentage of good movies than some franchises, which is impressive for something with like true. How many are there? 24.
24. Yeah. 24 official canon James Bond films, yeah.
25 if you count Never Say Never Again.
I count Never Say Never
So
Again.
Do I.
So it's 25.
Yeah.
Again, they threw in the Tim Burton Batmans and the Joel Schumacher Batmans along with the other ones that have been made, so I don't know what the exact number is, but we didn't cover Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman Robin. Those 4 films that happened before the Christopher Nolan films.
I love Batman Returns. I'm sober now. And I'll miss watching Batman and Robin drunk because I used to love to do that. But
congratulations on your sobriety, by the way.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
200 and something days. So.
That's awesome.
3, I think. I love Batman Returns. That's my favorite of the 3 Nolan Batman movies.
Any Batman or Superman movie followed by the word returns.
It's true. I like when they return.
Yeah.
It is always nice when they come back.
Yeah, for sure. I love the original Batman with all my heart, and the rest I could completely do without.
I loved the first 2. I love them almost equally as much. I love Michelle Pfeiffer. It's kind of hard to not like her as Catwoman. And
I was never a fan of that.
Jack Nicholson's Joker was revolutionary. It was just awesome. He really nailed that role. He went to full Jack Nicholson mode. Basically, it was just Jack Nicholson unhinged with makeup on. Is really what it was.
True.
I prefer him without makeup on in that movie.
Oh wow!
It's scarier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. His scenes, but when he fried the guy with the hand buzzer and all that stuff, and it's just great stuff. And he tightens his tie. And when he tightens his tie, I love that. It was great.
You were a vicious bastard, Rosselli, and I'm glad you're dead.
Yeah, great stuff. All right, we're near the end, boys. This is it. These are the big boys here. We've got the Harry Potter franchise, 8 films, $2.4 billion.
I love them.
I have seen the first through 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. That's because of a girl I was dating. First 4.
You broke up between 4 and 5.
Yeah, I got out of that. But I will say, I recall liking them. Yeah.
Oh, they're incredible. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. They're incredible films. We watch them like almost every year at Christmas time. The kids love them. The adults love them. It's almost a perfect franchise. It's really hard to find fault with it.
Little plug. I do hate the second one. Chamber of Secrets.
The what's his name? Christopher Columbus, dude. They're the least. I would admit they start getting kind of serious and dark with the third on. Yeah.
Yeah, the second one's a garbage pile. You can hear me talk about it on the podcast, The Real Weird Sisters. We went through that whole movie. But,
I have a quick question. Which is the one that Cuarón directed?
Prisoner of Azkaban. That's my favorite one. I really like all the David Yates ones, 5 through 8. Those are fun movies and fantastic beasts and where to find them. I even enjoyed. I didn't love it. It was kind of all over the place, but it had its moments.
Yeah, we look forward to more Johnny Depp in part 2 of that franchise.
Yep. Grindelwald.
Yeah, my favorite Harry Potter film and book was The Half-Blood Prince. I love any backstory stuff on Voldemort.
That's really interesting. I'm not a big fan. That's not one of my favorite books. My favorite book is The Goblet of Fire, which is maybe partly why I don't love that movie, just because they couldn't quite, match my expectations.
It's funny. It's one of my least favorites. I find the whole tournament part boring.
That's crazy to me. The Triwizard Tournament, I could watch that all day.
Yeah, interesting. Cool.
Yeah, my favorite book was Robert Caro's book on Lyndon Johnson.
Oh, the Power Broker?
Wrong one, but that's a good one. Yeah.
Now, if any of our listeners are wondering what the number one franchise of all time is, or idiots, the number one franchise of all time, drumroll please, is the Star Wars franchise. $3.7 billion in ticket sales. And of course, it's not inflation. If you're doing inflation, it's probably $9 billion. Yeah, Star Wars.
All the characters you love, Sebulba, Watto.
Jar Jar.
Sure. Who could forget the Gungans? Yeah. Look, they're great. I love the Star Wars is great. Whatever.
I think we're gonna be covering that soon, or you had wanted to. I don't know if it's gonna work.
You should wait. You should wait till Part 9 comes out. Quite frankly.
No, we might do it when Last Jedi comes out, but we'll see where the day takes us. I didn't love Rogue One. Henry didn't love Force Awakens, and I did.
That's right.
But
yeah, I'm like you. I didn't like Rogue One. I was kind of bored.
I loved Rogue One. I disliked a lot The Force Awakens. But yes, it would be fun to cover.
There's a lot of good movies there, man. I think the only really bad Star Wars movie is Phantom Menace. But even Phantom Menace has moments I like. I have weird affection for the prequels.
Yeah, they're not that bad. They actually
They are that bad, Ryan.
No, they're not.
I have affection for them.
I saw all of them in the theater, as I'm sure you guys did, and the only one of the prequels that I liked was Revenge of the Sith. I actually did like that. The other ones were absolutely awful to me.
The best part of the Phantom Menace was when the little Anakin's like,
Yippee!
It's working! That's the best part of the whole movie.
The best part of Attack of the Clones is when he's all, it's so difficult to love you. It's like these grains of sand on the beach. It's so crazy. George Lucas, man, can't write dialogue.
He's a great writer.
Yeah.
All right, well, we've come to the end, and this is such a huge list, and I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm thankful you guys took the time to. I hope you weren't bored doing this.
No.
It was more than I anticipated, but there's just, and this is just one page of like 15, part 1 of 5. So you guys on your show have a lot of franchises to cover, but these are the top 20 or whatever, or 25 franchises out there.
We'll come back on for worst of the second best.
That'd be hilarious. Because it's such a big list, I think picking 3 franchises and your reasons is probably fair.
All right.
So
worst
the top,
of the best.
So the
bottom
worst,
3.
The bottom 3 franchises of the top grossing franchises of all time. Does anyone have their picks?
I have my picks. I'm ready to go.
Okay, I'm just going over it one more time.
I'm not, so you go,
okay.
Yeah.
Take your time, no rush. I will edit, of course, the pauses.
Oh, good, because, I'm not ready for that.
I'm a hyper editor. I do a lot of editing. It's no problem for me. I edit pauses, jokes that don't work, any kind of crassness.
All my jokes work.
That's true.
They don't.
Henry. So, I mean, look, there's obviously ones I haven't seen.
They don't count, yep.
Right,
and there's things I also, like, I hated Pirates of the Caribbean when I saw that, but I've only seen, like, one of...
Ryan, I have to ask you that. Right, what if you've only seen one of the movies?
Well, I think if you've seen at least one or two of them enough to know how you feel about them, maybe that's why you haven't finished it, that could be fair enough. If you got a good argument for that, that's fair.
Okay.
I'm going to throw Twilight and Shrek right in the fray.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and say a movie that is outclassed by the other things on this list is the Hangover trilogy.
Yeah, good picks.
So that's my bottom 3, and if I had to pick one, I'm going to say... God, it's so weird because...
Which of those 3, basically, which of those 3... would you just never ever like you'd rather watch the other 2 instead of that one if you had to?
It's gonna be Shrek, and I don't know whether Shrek is worse than, say, Despicable Me or Ice Age.
Right.
I haven't seen those movies, but
no, that's fair.
I would certainly rather go back to Twilight or The Hangover than Shrek, especially when you take into consideration Puss in Boots, the spin-off. I can't take those movies.
Yeah.
All right. Hard. What about you, Henry? You ready?
Almost. I'm gonna definitely throw in there. I think I have my number 1.
Okay.
My number one worst of the best is definitely, it has to be Lord of the Rings.
Wow.
Yeah,
Man, I see.
that's
I didn't
the
have the guts to
franchise
say it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the franchise because it's the I'll tell you why. It's the franchise where I've seen the three of the Lord of the Rings. I'm not including the Hobbit because I didn't see them.
Right.
But the Lord of the Rings, and I saw them all in theaters, and I really just don't think they're good movies, and I'm disappointed that they made so much money. I do understand the affection and why people like them, but I just cannot. I cannot legitimize that being so popular.
Okay.
Henry,
Sure.
my answer was half measures. Listen, if we truly are talking about the worst of the best,
Sure.
I can't pick a better franchise than something that made that much money and won that many Oscars
So
that I
then I
hated
did
so
well.
much.
Then I did
I think yours is the answer. I think collectively, Daniel and Henry from the franchise are gonna say that Lord of the Rings is the worst of the best franchises.
Wow. I like your scaling model in that, and so that will fit into mine, and it might blow you guys away.
Well, I didn't give the other two. Do you not
okay.
need them? That's okay.
No, I like
What
the
else
scaling
was in
model.
consideration?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
In consideration was definitely Home Alone and Austin Powers.
Austin Powers, sure.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and Meet the Fockers is close too, but Austin Powers and Lord of the Rings would be my tops, but Lord of the Rings is my absolute number one.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings is not shagadelic.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to take a factor in like the combination of kind of like quality, what's popular, and like that overall reaching like so the best. And the worst of that kind of best, I like what you did there with Lord of the Rings, though I heavily disagree with you.
Yeah. Sure.
This might not come as this is number 2. Third is Iron Man. Because I didn't like it enough to ever see the third one, which tells me, and I love the Marvel movies, but I've just never gone back to even bother with part 3.
Is Iron Man 3 the only Marvel movie you've skipped?
I've skipped other ones, not because I've skipped them, just because of time
Sure.
with kids. But I haven't seen Ant-Man yet, and I haven't seen Doctor Strange yet, but I know they're good, and I'm sure I'll enjoy them. I just haven't seen them yet. Yeah, but I think Iron Man 3 is Iron Man 3 is the only one that I like. Even when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, Ben Kingsley with the mustache looking like Fu Manchu.
I say worth watching. All
right, I know you're a big Shane Black guy, right? That's why, but I know. Okay.
I say it's not. But.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Number 2 for me, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Sure.
I tried. I have gone back and watched the first one. Then I somehow suffer through the second one a couple times, and I never get to the third one. I could just never muster what I need. And the reason why I've gone back to try to watch from the beginning again, because I'm a purist, and I want to remember why these characters are who they are. And then I just don't care anymore by the time I'm done with part 2 that I never go on to part 3.
Is the Lonely Island song Jack Sparrow featuring Michael Bolton worth so good that it makes that franchise worth it?
Well, that's true. Now, however, taking in Henry's what would you say stipulation, it made me feel much better about my worst of the best.
Oh, I know what's coming here.
Is the Jurassic Park series?
Oh, I didn't expect that. Okay. Interesting.
There's 2 reasons why. I'm not a huge Steven Spielberg fan, even though I love the Indiana Jones movies, and I think the Indiana Jones films are the only films that he's done worth watching. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just don't...
God, I'm not even that great of a fan of his, but what, Jaws? And
I know, and I knew...
Schindler's List?
I saw Schindler's List in the theater, and I felt guilty. And here's the reason. Here's my reasoning for Jurassic Park in these type of films, and this would include Jaws. Actually, I'm not a fan of Man versus Beast.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. I don't get.
I wish you told me this before I agreed to be on this. I'm sitting here in stunned silence.
That's
I noticed.
Me too.
Jaws is obviously my second favorite movie of all time.
I know.
We've talked about it. But
I know, and I hesitated to even bring it. I'm scared because I know how much you love Jaws.
You took guts to say what you said. I'll give you that.
I'm just not a fan.
Which Jurassic Park movies have you seen?
I've seen the first three. I haven't seen Jurassic World, and I like Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to wait for our coverage.
Here's the thing. It just I just get bored when the creatures and the men are facing each other, and it's like I eventually, of course, the humans are going to get away, and some are going to get lost, and
Yeah.
it's just
this
a
is
dinosaur.
personal.
It's just
This
the
is
dinosaurs have no.
Just a dinosaur.
Yeah, it just I admit when I first saw it in the theaters and I saw the big brontosaurus when they looked at them from the Jeep, I thought, oh, that's pretty cool CGI. I'm impressed with this. But then it's like it just turned into you could just replace the dinosaurs with a Michael Myers mask. That's all that's happening.
Well, I will say.
What would be wrong with that? What's bad about a slasher movie with dinosaurs?
Because I like, and here's the thing, I actually like slasher movies, and I like the Michael Myers movies because I like the fact that I like it when he was human. You know what I mean? I like that. I like the human on human struggle more than Beast. That's why I never saw King Kong, or I don't get excited by the creature.
Well, I will say. Let me say this. What's interesting and something I left out because I didn't take this tack in my assessment of Lord of the Rings, but I'm not a fan of elves and fairies and, and fantasy.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I didn't include that in my reasoning for not liking it because I'm open to whatever, you know. But I'm not saying you're not. But if you're just right out the gate not going to like a Man versus Beast movie,
but here's the thing.
Choice.
No, I don't get sucked into the drama of it. It doesn't excite me. Though it's well filmed and the special effects were incredible and like the set pieces were like it's not about the product. The product itself is well done. But the drama, the human drama of for example, I like The Walking Dead, but I don't care about the zombies. It's actually the human drama that I like. So
but the characters in Jurassic Park are much better in 2 hours, better developed than the characters on The Walking Dead have been in 8 years.
Maybe now. But so taking that, but of course there's the worst friend. I can admit, like would I ever watch Ice Age over or Alvin the Chipmunks? But I was just taking that consideration of really what is the best out there, and I just don't get excited by Jurassic Park despite its huge success, and I get it. It just doesn't excite me. So yeah.
All right.
Okay, that covers it. Worst of the best.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, this has been a journey, guys. I've really enjoyed this. It just felt for me personally, it's just fun to geek out with you guys. So maybe this is just a selfish episode on my part, but
that's fine. It was fun. It was fun.
Very fun. Yeah. Thank you.
You guys are gonna have me on the Rocky podcast to talk about Paulie's robot, right?
Yeah, we haven't gone there yet. We'll get you on there and we'll have you talk about Rocky's robot for sure.
Let me know.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening, the rest of your weekend, and this has been a beast of an episode. So speaking of beasts, so thank you so much.
You're welcome, Ryan. Thanks for having us, man.
All right, take care, guys.
All right, see ya.
See you, buddy.